Business on Purpose podcast.
You remember back in the day, don't you? Peer pressure. Middle school, high school, elementary school, college to some extent, but we like to think that we graduated from peer pressure. No, we hadn't. Hey, it's Scott Beebe with the Business on Purpose podcast. Always just a pleasure to be able to help try and liberate you from the chaos of working in your business. This podcast is just a simple way for me to share insights, thoughts into the reality of life as a heroic small business owner and do it in real time. So I usually get out of a conference room, get off of a virtual call, and I hop on the podcast and share with you insights as to what I've seen, heard, experiences that we've walked through, conversations that we've had. And I just had a conversation with a small business owner, and she was asking me about another small business owner and just asking their progress and how it's going. And, you know, all in generic terms, nothing that sacrificing any kind of private information or proprietary information. And I just said, you know, there's been some pretty massive growth, but it's come through the form of peer pressure. And so there's one particular personal growth and professional growth habit that this business owner has developed just in the last month that over the last 3 years, I've not gotten them to be able to do. Well, one thing has changed, and it's just one thing. And it is that they are now in a small group coaching environment rather than a one-on-one coaching environment. We still do some one-on-one, but the majority of their time is spent in small group coaching. Well, originally I thought, wow, they might not like that. It's, you know, it may feel a little watered down. There is a game-changing concept within the element of group coaching that I can't replicate, I can't replace. And that is the idea of peer pressure, peer accountability, whatever you want to call it. I don't want you to make you sound like you're back in elementary school, but this idea of peer accountability, to be able to come into a room, I'll give you just one stark example. A lot of times it's really hard to get business owners to read books, even to listen to books on Audible. Because most business owners statistically are going to be drivers. If you look at the DISC profile, D-I-S-C, driver, influencer, steady, and compliant, most of them are going to be drivers, whereas the small percentage of the population overall are drivers, but most business owners are drivers because most drivers tend to want to kind of pioneer their own path, make quick decisions, not think through them deeply, and just go, go, go. Not a bad trait. Now, obviously, you've got to have other people with you on that train who are slow to make decisions, who think very methodically through information. But a lot of these drivers don't really want to take time to read. It's too slow for them. Well, reading does a couple of things. Reading causes you to have downtime. Reading causes you to be quiet for a little bit. Reading causes long-term, habitual, methodical investment, a discipline. And so there's a lot of value in reading, not to mention what most of us would think was the primary value, and that is to gain information, to gain insight, to gain knowledge. Well, there's so much more around reading, and that's why it's such a valuable discipline, and one of the things that we are working more and more on to develop within the heroes that we get to serve. And so in these small groups that we've got locally here of heroic small business owners, we're having them read, and so they started reading a book, and, you know, there was the typical grumbling, oh, you know, you ever read a book and can I watch the movie and all of those sorts of things. Well, lo and behold, I get a picture from one of the business owner's spouses who says, how did you get them to read? And it's a picture of their spouse reading, this business owner reading. And not only that, but one of the pictures, their children are sitting next to them reading. Not staged. It just kind of happened. Well, not only when you read do you get value from that, but when you read, other people get value from that. So how did we get them to read? How did we get them and position them to a point to where they get all of this value out of one simple discipline? Well, I wish I could tell you it was my grand strategy. The reality was it's really the value of the small group, this peer accountability. And so my question for you, whether you're a business owner or a key leader, is what is the accountable community around you? You know, here in the low country of South Carolina, we've taken the 12-week plan module, Brian Moran's 12-week year book, and we've turned it into a quarterly event. And so we've gotten every heroic small business owner on the same cycle where everybody's doing their 12-week plans all together. It's peer accountability. They're all in the same room. In fact, at the time of this recording on Thursday, December the 13th, we'll have our next 12-week plan meeting. And it provides business owners, it provides their team an opportunity to come not only work on their 12-week plan, but do it within the context of other businesses so they know deep down, man, we should do this because these other businesses are doing it. Must be something that's worth it. And so that peer accountability, I really want to encourage you to surround yourself with peers who can hold you accountable and maybe push you a little bit. No, check that. Push you a lot. Hey, you need a vision. MyBusinessOnPurpose.com/vision is our way to serve you. And we'll see you right here next time on the Business on Purpose podcast.